Why are we today so interested in the Roman period? Well, I think one reason for it is because it's actually pretty familiar to us. And not only is our architecture incredibly influenced by classical styles, but the materials that the Roman world was made of and the ways that in many cases they lived are the ways that we live. Many of them lived in cities. A lot of those city dwellers lived in apartments with floor layouts that we would recognize. In many cases, these apartments and many of their buildings were built with concrete. Their tableware, much of it was glass. And the one material that I recently realized was iron. They used iron with a sort of similar amount of reckless abandon that we do. In so many time periods in history, iron was either non-existent or so incredibly precious that it was really only used for specific and really, really important items. But in the Roman period, it had become industrialized to the point that they could use iron for everything. So many things got made out of iron. Some of the lintels in Praefurnia, which are the furnaces of Roman bathhouses, were made of these massive, massive iron beams made from several blooms. The Colosseum had an estimated 300 tons of iron clamps holding many of the stones together. That is a degree of consumption unheard of in the periods before and not really seen in many of the periods afterwards, to the point that it was easier in the medieval period in some parts of the medieval period, to rob iron from Roman buildings, the clamps that had been holding them together. Easier to do that and more cost effective than to smelt new iron. So I think that's one of the ways that the Roman period is interesting to us, is because the materials that it's made of, the way that they use some of the raw and refined materials, are very, very similar to the way we live and use materials today. Cheers.